AITA for refusing to go to a justice dinner with my parents and siblings. My mom goes through bouts of nostalgia, especially since my siblings and I have grown up and started families of our own. Lately mom has wanted to have a dinner with just us, meaning just my parents and siblings, explicitly excluding our spouses and children. I know my mom doesn't mean for this to be interpreted negatively, but the whole idea of this dinner puts me off. I'm in my mid-30s with a wife and kids. My siblings also have families of their own. While I obviously love my family, it feels weird to want to play pretend for a few hours as if we didn't have families of our own. Of course that's not the obvious connotation, but the very point and design of it is to be exclusive to our family, i.e. my childhood family. My mom's emotions would have focused on the fact that it was just us and like when we were kids, and the thought of sitting there pretending I was also relishing the nostalgia makes me cringe. I don't see why it has to be just us for my mom and dad. I think to enjoy visits together and feel like they're getting an authentic experience or something. Not to mention my wife understandably finds being excluded hurtful. We've been married for 11 years and together for 17. She and my dad haven't had the best relationship, and being excluded just feels like one more example of how she's not really accepted into the family. By contrast, I feel completely integrated into and a part of her family. My sister wants to make this happen for my mom, and even made the effort to corner me and put me on the spot during a recent birthday get-together for our mom. We didn't get much time to talk, so I texted my sister about my feelings the next day, and she predictably said basically we were making a big deal of it, but it's apparently important enough that I can imagine getting the cold shoulder for not acquiescing and just doing this for mom. Part of me wants to just go to the dinner and make mom happy, but this type of nostalgia and pressuring demand is very typical of my family, and I feel like giving in will just encourage more of both. I dunno, am I making more of this? Is this kind of just as exclusive family get-together normal? AITA, edit. Wow, I didn't expect so much feedback. Thank you everyone for the responses. I was pretty busy yesterday and didn't get a chance to respond. It seems everyone is fairly split on the issue, which tells me it's a nuanced and complicated situation. I think backstory and more context are important. My family has a bumpy history with my wife, mostly revolving around essentially who gets my time and attention, and that's why my wife feels hurt. My mom has mostly been a neutral and kind player in the drama. I genuinely don't think she means any harm in asking for this dinner. My sister visits my parents often without my brother-in-law, and he doesn't really care about being involved, which is part of why I feel my sister doesn't grasp the inconvenience or implied exclusion because her own family dynamic is different. My parents and sister spend a lot of time together, and have a history of siding together and complaining about the same things, which usually takes the form of them complaining to me about our younger sister, or them complaining about me to our younger sister. My sister spends a huge amount of energy tending to my parents' happiness and has said before that she shouldn't be the only one doing all the work to make them happy. My dad has a habit of being pushy and wanting to inject himself into our lives how he wants, like by just giving us things rather than asking if we want or need it first, or wanting to just stop over unannounced rather than call ahead. I think my mom asking to have a just us get together isn't all that usual, and it all comes down to the context. If my family is trying to force their will on me as via a seemingly innocent request, I'm NTA, but if there is no greedy ulterior motive and this is just my mom wanting to have a meal with her kids and husband and my sister isn't using this to pressure me to be more involved in the family, then AITA.